Good evening. It is 5 p.m. on Thursday, July 30th, and you're tuned into CFRC 101.9 FM, broadcasting from Lower Carruthers Hall on Queen's Campus in Kingston, Ontario. I'm CFRC's broadcast journalist, Christina Laurie, and this is Kingston Currents, your weekly roundup of the latest Limestone local news. CFRC's news programming is brought to you by the generous support of the Community Radio Fund of Canada under the Local Journalism Initiative, Queen's University Career Services, and for our podcast, Smith Engineering at Queen's University. Coming up in today's episode, a local arts and culture special. We'll be diving into this year's Kick and Push Theatre Festival, currently running until August 16th, and the upcoming Play Me Kingston art installation set to transform downtown into a gallery dedicated to Kingston's music scene. Plus, your weather and traffic report for this upcoming weekend, and a few events to keep on your radar from CFRC's events calendar. Without further delay, let's dive in. The 12th season of the Kick and Push Theatre Festival is underway, running from July 23rd to August 16th and bringing live performance to stages and unexpected spaces across Kingston. Artistic producer Liam Carey sat down with CFRC about a week into this year's festival to check in on how the season has been going, starting with what Kick and Push is all about and what makes it unique to Kingston. Kick and Push has been a summer tradition here in Kingston for the last 12 years. How would you describe the festival for folks who maybe haven't had a chance to see it yet, and what makes it a unique part of Kingston's arts and culture scene?
I would describe the festival, for those who haven't seen it yet, as a series of magical happenings. Something we take very, very seriously at the Kick and Push is to create a sense of whimsy and a sense of discovery with all our attendees. So we do that by bringing in live performers at the top of their game and who have like really interesting pieces, things that are a bit unusual, things that are a bit unique. And then just to make it even more captivating for audiences, we place these great live performances in unusual spaces in Kingston. Sure, we might use a theater, but we might use a bus or a graveyard or an alleyway or Princess Street or an island or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I believe that the Kick and Push does a great job of creating unique experiences that you'll never forget. And it also, I think, succeeds in recontextualizing our great city in ways that delight and entertain.
And we're about halfway through this year's festival. How's it been going so far? What's stood out to you this year?
I think one of the things that stood out to me this year so far is just the reward of all the work that we've done over the last 12 years, making partnerships with other wonderful organizations. Our opening show this year, which is wrapping up tonight, we were presenting it with in partnership with the Centre Culturel de Frontenac, and forgive my French is terrible. Our friends and colleagues, we've been building a co-curatorial relationship with them for the past 5 years. And this year we have actually Le Concierge. It's a piece that actually takes place within and across their new facility out on the other side of Kingston. And it's such a beautiful piece, and you have this beautiful storytelling that takes place across this beautiful new facility with our friends who we've been building a relationship with for the last 5 years, and just seeing the resonancy for our audiences, but also the community around their programming, and like seeing that mix of Francophone and Anglophone audiences mixing together and finding common experience. It's so powerful. And as someone who's had the pleasure and the privilege of being part of the Kick and Push since the very beginning, it just really feels like we're getting somewhere.
Carey also reflects on the festival's 12th season as someone who's been there since the beginning. I mean, I imagine there's kind of a moment of reflection every year with these last 12 years, but what does that kind of look like for you this year?
Well, 12 is greater than 10. And 10 definitely felt like a milestone. 12 years for an arts festival of innovative live performance anywhere is like that's a good age. You know, like that's a good, like it's an achievement to get to 12 years. I would say how I'm feeling about the festival this year. One of the thoughts and feelings that I'm having is that it feels really good and appropriate that we're still constantly seeking to present innovative art experiences in a way that our audiences will be surprised and delighted for. Like, we're still doing that. We're still hanging on to that freshness and that pursuit of innovation. So that's happening, which is good because, as you know, with a lot of things, if the longer things go on, the easier it is to sort of get complacent. So it's really nice to see that we're not getting complacent. But then at the same time, the relationships and the partnerships and the audiences that we've built over the last 12 years, that's supporting that search for innovation and excellence. So you have that combination of longevity and community and the innovation and the constantly reaching. And I think that that's really, really satisfying.
And audiences have been responding. Carey shared some of the feedback he's received so far this year. And what has the response from audiences been this year?
I mean, there's been a few pieces. The reaction to some of our pieces this year has been overwhelmingly positive. People have commented on how much the pieces have challenged them, entertained them. I've received a wonderful amount of comments from audience members as they leave the production saying, I never thought live performance could be exactly like that. I've never seen something like this before. I would expect to see something like this. I'd have to be in a major center like Toronto or Ottawa or Montreal. But the fact that this type of work is being done in Kingston at such a high level in such a welcoming way is incredible. So I'm going to go and think about this for the next 6 months. I'm going to go and think about this piece for the next 6 months. Thank you for giving me this experience. I personally find it very satisfying as an artist or a curator or a producer I love it when I hear people that they enjoyed it and it was really good. I mean, I love hearing that. But what I really love hearing is when people say, I'm going to go away and think about this, because then I feel like we're doing our job. Today, actually, I ran into someone at a cafe when I was getting a coffee, and it was someone that saw a production that we did in the screening room downtown in, I believe, 2018. And they just came up to me and they said, I'm still thinking about that show. And that was 8 years ago. And that just feels like we're on the right track. And I will say, though, one thing that's heartening is so far in terms of all the programming that's happened, we've sold out 96% of the time.
And again, Kick and Push is known for transforming Kingston into a stage. And you kind of got into this, shared a bit about those unique spaces. How have this year's venues and performances kind of changed the way people experience the city?
I would say that this year, so far, I mean, we're only about halfway through, but this year we've received an equal amount of comments from people saying that I've walked by this space so many times, but I've never really taken it in. And the work that you're presenting right now is making me take it in. So we've got a few of those. We've also gotten a lot of, I thought I knew this space. I thought I had fully realized this space and what the space was capable of. And watching the artists that you've brought in transform the space into such a magical experience, it has completely changed the way I relate to our city and the potential I see within it. And again, that is another one of those, oh, we're on the right track kind of moments, like when people offer that.
And according to Carey, that response is part of what makes Kingston such a special place for a festival like Kick and Push. This whole time in the back of my mind, I've kind of been thinking, it sounds like we're really punching above our weight here in Kingston for a smallish kind of town. I was wondering if you could kind of speak to the importance of this being situated here in Kingston.
Oh, I would love to. I mean, and I would agree, Chris. I think Kingston in so many ways punches way above its weight culturally. We have great events. Of course, theater. You have wonderful groups like Blue Canoe. You have Theater Kingston. You have just outside the city. You have Thousand Islands Playhouse. Like, there's a bunch of great theater groups that are presenting world class theater in the city. But then you also have Kingston's incredible music scene, of which CFRC is a big part. You have Kingston Writers Fest. I mean, I think we're punching way above our weight. And then one says, well, why is that? I think there's a bunch of factors. I think, first and foremost, I think it's the people in Kingston that bring that in. I think Queens helps. Queens brings a whole bunch of wonderful humans that are passionate about expression and communication and betterment into our community. So I think that really helps. I would also say the fact that we're situated where we are at the conjunction of a bunch of different waterways. We're smack dab between Toronto and Ottawa and Montreal. So we're right in the middle of everything. So that allows us to have a unique cultural identity that we don't just get absorbed into one of the major centers. We're far enough away from everything that we sort of have our own milieu. And we have a lot to offer in terms of, geographically speaking, we have a beautiful city with a lot of interesting architecture. Is it that surprising that artists of all forms would want to come here and create? I don't think so. I think it's sort of, so yeah, Kingston's a really special place. And it's really satisfying for myself and my team to do our part to encourage artists from elsewhere, and especially artists here, to create work here and make Kingston a viable cultural hub.
However, there are challenges. This year, those include rising costs for live performance, a dip in American tourism, and the Grand Theater being closed for the summer. Kick and Push's response, Carrie says, has been to do a little less, but do it better.
So one of the mantras with this year is, let's do a little bit less better. Tourism is down, and a big part of our demographic are people coming in from elsewhere, and it's in live performance, but also in every aspect of the tourism industry. Unfortunately, the amount of American visitors that are coming to Kingston are way down. So that is informing part of our decision. Like, part of the reason why we're doing a little bit less but doing it better is there's less people walking around right now with disposable income looking for things to do in Kingston because of the state of the world. So we're adjusting to that, but that is very real. The cost to put on live theater since the pandemic has gone up 40%. It's 40% more expensive to put on a professional live performance and pay everyone a living wage. It's 40% more expensive. That is hugely problematic. But this is the first year that the Fringe will not be at the Grand Theater. It's going to be at the Tet Center.
Mm-hmm.
So our team is much more involved with sort of providing all the infrastructure that the Grand Theater would normally provide. So that's an example of how we're trying to do a little less better.
And those aren't just challenges for Kick and Push. Festivals in Kingston and across the country are facing similar pressures at a time when people need opportunities to come together most.
We almost lost Writers Fest, Blues Fest is gone. The Watershed Festival is gone, or on hiatus, but they're not putting out work right now. Fulda has moved to Toronto. So, these were all artist-led festivals that have either gone dormant, have shuttered, or have moved elsewhere. So it's real. It's a real thing. And it's the same story across the country. Speaking of arts festivals in general, one would argue that in this time of increased polarization, anything that gets us together in real time, away from our phones, away from the algorithm, to experience something collectively, we need it now more than ever.
The key to facing those challenges, Carrie says, is collaboration, not competition, and not operating from a scarcity mindset.
Constantly looking for collaborations with organizations in the city that are aligned with us from a value perspective, and trying to find ways to work together, because collaboration brings costs down, many hands make light work, et cetera, et cetera. Also, I think it's really important and difficult to not operate from a scarcity mindset, even when resources are low. Theater festivals and arts festivals, I think, despite the scarcity of resources, we have to push against that austerity mindset, act from a space of generosity, and remember that we're creating community, and we're creating enlightened collectivism, and we're creating dialogue and empathy and all these qualities that have always been important, but I think are increasingly more so.
Moving forward, Carrie says Kick and Push will continue strengthening its relationships with community partners, building audiences, and creating opportunities for artists to make innovative work in Kingston. You've mentioned a few times in this interview you feel like you're on the right track. I was wondering if you could speak to what you think this looks like for the festival moving forward and how you hope it evolves in the next few years.
I really see the Kick and Push Festival as contributing to the local ecology, the local artistic ecology, the local tourism ecology. We do have people driving in from Toronto and Ottawa to see unique works here, so that feels pretty good. I think what I'm hoping to see for the festival moving forward is strengthening our relationships with our amazing community partners here, continuing to build our audiences, and also doing our small part to ensure that artist-curated festivals that are paying artists professional wages to do innovative work is happening in our city. I'm looking forward to seeing the Kick and Push Festival do all those things in the future and continue to make an impact to our city in terms of experiences for Kingstonians to experience, well-paying, living wage jobs for artists and arts workers, and giving people from outside of Kingston no reason to come here and partake in our city. And the fact that the Kick and Push puts up work all over the city as a feature of our work, I think like it perfectly situates us to animate the city and really show off what Kingston has to offer and really augment all the work that's being done by all other groups in the city, like the attractions, the museums, campus. I always feel like when the Kick and Push is working, we're yes-anding everyone around us. We're like, so I look forward to doing more of that.
And as this year's festival heads into its second half, there's still plenty left to discover. What do you hope people take away from this year's festival?
I hope that they take away that Kingston is a unique and wonderful city, worthy of examination, worthy of celebration, and that time spent taking something in that's new and innovative is time ultimately well spent.
Anything folks should know headed into this second half?
I mean, I don't want to give too much away, but
no spoilers. Yeah.
No spoilers. Yeah. # no spoilers. I will say that we've got some absolutely magical work coming down the pike, including the TK Fringe, which is such a celebration of innovative performance. It's like a bag of those magical jelly beans from Harry Potter. Like you don't know exactly what you're going to get, but it's wondrous, and that's part of the joy. So I encourage everyone to check out the programming, see what appeals to them, take some risks, maybe go see something that they're not, I don't know about this, but should we? The answer to that should always be yes. Grab that bag of magic jelly beans and dive right in, and I know you'll be really happy with what you discover.
Once again, the Kick and Push Festival runs across Kingston until August 16th. Before we get into more local news, let's take a look at your weather and traffic report for the rest of the week. A few things to watch for on the roads heading into the weekend. King Street West is down to one lane in each direction between Country Club Drive and Front Road for water and sanitary main work. Princess Street remains closed between Frontenac and Division Street for major reconstruction. The city says the Princess and Division and Princess and Frontenac intersections remain open, but the roadway between them is closed. There are intermittent lane closures on John Cantor Boulevard between Portsmouth and Division for maintenance work. John Street remains closed between Montreal and Bagot for water and sanitary service upgrades through Friday. Cranbrook Street is closed between Lakeview Avenue and Days Road for pedestrian improvements through the end of August. Park Street is closed between Macdonell and Victoria Streets for installation of an always stop, with the closure in place daily through August 14th. South Bartlett Street is closed between Victoria and Smith Streets for facade restoration work through September. And Leroy Grant Drive is closed to through traffic between John Cantor Boulevard and Elliott Avenue for roadway rehabilitation through the end of August. This weekend, the Princess Street Promenade will close Princess Street between Bagot and Ontario Streets on Saturday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The intersections at Princess and Barrie and Princess and Bagot will remain open. On Sunday, the LaSalle Causeway will be fully closed to vehicles, cyclists, and pedestrians from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. for the temporary opening of the Marine Navigation Channel. Now looking to the skies, for tonight, expect partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers early this evening. Fog patches will develop overnight with a low of 16. Looking ahead to Friday, it'll be sunny once those fog patches clear in the morning. The high will reach 27 with a humidex of 35 and a very high UV index of 8. Friday night brings cloudy periods and a 30% chance of showers with a low of 18. Saturday looks a little unsettled with cloudy skies and a 60% chance of showers. The high will be 26 with a 40% chance of showers continuing into Saturday night and a low of 18. And Sunday stays on the cloudy side with a 40% chance of showers and a high of 24. Sunday night will remain cloudy with a low of 17. That's your traffic and weather headed into the long weekend. Now let's turn back to more local news. In just a few weeks, downtown Kingston will become a walkable outdoor art gallery with the launch of Play Me Kingston, a public art project featuring 11 guitar sculptures custom designed by local artists. This Downtown Kingston BIA initiative will see the guitars installed throughout the downtown core from mid-August through November, each celebrating Kingston's music scene while marking two major milestones: the 10th anniversary of the Tragically Hip's final concert coming up in August, and the inaugural Road Trip Music Festival in September. Before brushes met the canvas, I sat down with two artists involved in the project, Rowan Grant and Sergio Hawa, along with Downtown Kingston's event strategist, Nayeli Salazar. They shared the inspiration behind the project, their designs, and what they hope people will take away from the experience. For Downtown Kingston, what sparked the idea for Play Me Kingston?
So Mary Joy, it is our executive director, and she tried to have more art here in the community, and she tried just to have this for many years, but we didn't have the opportunity to just, I don't want to say justify, but justify, like just to have the opportunity to have this kind of art in Kingston. And when the Tourism of Kingston, they were asking just to, do you want just to be involved with the HIP celebration? It is 10 years. I think that it is big for the city and the fans. So that's why Mary Jo is like, Nayeli, you know what? I think we can just do it now. And we can just do big guitars. And that's why we started this project.
Mm-hmm. And I see the connection with the big guitars. I was wondering if you could expand more on why this felt like the right project to celebrate music here in Kingston.
Yeah, totally. So when we are just trying to find the perfect project for this big or live-in gallery here in Kingston, for us, music in general, it has been so big. And as probably our audience or your audience know that the first music festival, it is coming in Road Trip in September. So for us, it was like it is a perfect match just to select an instrument that it is so unique for a band like the HIP. I think that it is the perfect element just for this project.
Absolutely. And Rowan and Sergio, I wanted to dive into your initial reactions when this opportunity kind of came to your door.
Well, for me, it was a really great opportunity and also very exciting to know about this project, because also I think once I started learning about Tragically Hip and Gord Downie especially, I was really inspired and I really wanted to do something in that theme. When I knew about the project, I thought it was a perfect match and the perfect moment to do a tribute to this band and to Gord Downie especially.
Mm-hmm. And Rowan, what were your initial thoughts?
I think music is so integral to Kingston, and visual artists and musicians go hand in hand. So when I heard about this project, I was really excited by it. Like, I love that we're paying tribute to not just the HIP, but like all the musicians here in Kingston, and like all our great local bands. And yeah, I think being able to kind of show our love for the music here as visual artists was really exciting to me.
Mm-hmm. And we're still in early days. A lot of things are still in flux. You still have lots of time to design those guitars. But I was wondering if you could get into where you're at now, what you're thinking, and maybe some of those initial design plans.
Yeah, I'm in the planning moment. We of course we already did an application for the project, and which is a big part of planning what we're going to do. But also, since this is a 3D element, we are thinking now, well, what I'm going to do on the back of the guitar, what I'm going to do on the sides. So it's to have an integral piece of art that could be seen everywhere, because this is mainly like a sculpture. So in this moment I'm planning all these things, and it's exciting. It's very exciting.
Mm-hmm. And how are you kind of working in your style or your favorite kind of forms into this guitar?
Well, what I mainly do is portraits, and I like to do very expressive portraits, because I when I do my portraits, I just not only want to show a face of someone, I want to express the entire, probably the story of the person somehow, right? And so in this particular case, I'm working with my style, very expressive and not hyper realistic, but in a way that people could see his face there, but at the same time bring the entire message of the secret path that is the project that really inspired that I was inspired for my guitar.
Yeah. And Rowan, where are you at in your creative process right now?
So I'm still figuring things out. Like I said, like we have done the pitch. And within my pitch, I really wanted to capture the long history of music here in Kingston. For example, the first piano here in town was at a church. The first choirs were at the church. So a lot of my initial inspiration was sort of exploring the spiritual aspect of music, because spirituality is something I explore a lot in my own artwork. I'm very abstract within like nature, and I like using lots of like bright colors and stuff. So right now I'm working on like something that's sort of stained glass-esque, like very I want you to see the light shining through it, despite it being like a stationary object that obviously doesn't have any light shining through it. So yeah, I think I just want to capture the spirit of music.
Already, especially between you two, you can see how different the styles are with each guitar, which is really cool.
Yeah. And actually, I want just to share that we try just to pick or select artists that have different visions and different techniques. Kingstonians, they can just see the variety of artists that we have here in the community.
And you both kind of mentioned that element of these massive guitars that are 3D. Can you speak to the fun challenge of designing for such a unique canvas?
For me, it's kind of interesting because lately I've been painting on top of luggages, on top of different things, painting in a 6 feet guitar, it's a different challenge, but it's, I would say, mostly very exciting. Very exciting. I'm just waiting to have the guitar in my hands to see, and probably I'm gonna get a little bit, like, I don't know, annoyed by the size of the guitar.
For me, I work as a tattoo artist as well, so that's obviously like 3D on like the 3D object of the body. So I think when I was designing it, I kept that in mind, like how it's going to wrap around the whole body. I think I think it's going to be a challenge to paint a 6-foot guitar, but I'm actually very excited by the challenge.
Yeah.
There's even the logistics of painting is going to be quite interesting, and in that way, as an artist, like, I love a challenge. So
you have your work cut out for you, for sure. And both of you, again, things are still in flux, so this could change, but I was wondering if you could pick out a few of the little details that were on your initial designs and kind of explain the inspiration.
Well, in my case, I would say that I've been inspired by the Secret Path, that last project, that last album that Gord Downie did, and all his effort in making viral that a story that every Canadian should know. But he did it in a time where we didn't have that strong development of social media that we currently have, right? So I was really amazed by that, and so. In that last concert, he was singing to a crowd in front with a background of that story. I mean, all this animation was on behind him in a large screen. I'm trying to replicate that in my guitar somehow. Like I have a background that I'm creating with scenes of that video of that film, and I'm painting his portrait on top of that. So somehow to replicate that idea. Yeah, that's my inspiration.
For me, I definitely took elements of like the hip's long-term career. For example, the spine on the neck of the guitar is like the little bones. And I think that the spine also represents like the core of the music here. And I think for me, I really wanted to just showcase how the like anatomical heart of Kingston is music. So we've got like a heart, a spine, and it's going to be very interesting, I think.
Yeah.
And for both of you guys, what does it mean to have your work displayed downtown like this in such a big way. And then I'll also ask you, Nayeli, what it means for the Downtown Kingston team to finally be able to have this public art project that it seems like you guys have been wanting for a long time.
Well, for me, I would say that I don't think I have words to explain how exciting this is to see my work along with so many great artists in downtown, in exterior. I mean, it's a it's an outside exhibition, so many people that it probably is not the current the common audience for a gallery or for art, but they're going to be exposed to all these pieces, and I think it's amazing. It's very exciting, and yeah, and I feel really grateful to be part of this selection.
I agree. I'm also feeling very grateful. I think for me, it's really like the next step in my arts career, and I'm really grateful for the city of Kingston for letting me explore this. I think having everything displayed in downtown Kingston, like having the general public walk by all of our pieces and be able to engage with art in that way, I think is going to be really special. Like, I think it's going to really bring like a sense of vibrancy to downtown Kingston.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Well, for us, it is, as I was sharing with you, we have been working in this kind of project for many years, probably 3, until we found the perfect match. And for us, we are so exciting. It is right now it is only the general director, Mary Jo, that she did bring the whole idea, and she was like, Anayeli, I think you can help me just to bring this to life. And right now I am just so excited. We received almost 40 submissions for this project, and it was so hard just to select the 10 artists. Like the whole process behind the whole project, it is amazing.
And what are you hoping folks experience once these are all set up and they come across them downtown?
Well, actually, when we post the picture of the actual structures, like we got a lot of good comments on that post, DMs as well. A lot of people, including the artists, they are like, "It is AI or it is the actual guitars," and I was like, "No, literally, it is a guitar."
Wow.
It looks like that. Like it is no AI. It is real. So, I think we will have like a lot of good comments about this, especially because all of them, they are using a lot of colorful like designs, and it will bring a lot of life
Yeah.
to the downtown, I think.
And for you guys, with your particular designs, what are you hoping people experience when they come across them?
Well, for me, it's always exciting to see the reaction of people when they see your pieces, right? I think one of the things that really inspire me more is to see art and to celebrate music also as a way to communicate a message, right? In my case, for my guitar, what I want is to spark people's attention on that story of Cheney Wenjack, the story that inspired Gord Downey in that project, The Secret Path. I want to make a tribute to Gord Downey and also spark that curiosity on people to see what is this, or there are many of us, like when I say us, I'm talking about myself as an immigrant that probably don't know the story. And this is a story that every Canadian should know. And my hope is that when people see my piece, they at least have the curiosity to go get deeper and try to know a little bit more about that.
For me, when people see my piece, I hope that it just sparks the joy of music. Like, I really want people to feel the reverence of the beauty that is music, where we all, like, people come together to create it, to dance to it, to sing to it. And I really hope that when people look at my piece, they feel the energy of the beautiful music scene here in Kingston.
You may not be able to speak to this, but do you think there's a chance this could become a more long-term installation in the future?
Well, so actually we are trying to have these for next year. So we want to have another 10 guitars. So probably we can have like more, like this kind of exhibitions. We kind of started last year with the chairs that are in Sydenham. So that was like kind of a small project. So just to start seeing how the Kingstonians are excited about these kind of things, and we saw that it was so popular, and it is still popular, but because they are on Sydenham right now. This exhibition, it will be from August to November because winter. So we have to move the guitars, but we are trying just to convince our sponsors if they can just bring them back to the spot next year, so we can have more guitars and more to see.
Awesome. So maybe an annual tradition.
Hopefully.
That was artists Rowan Grant and Sergio Hawa, along with downtown Kingston's Nayeli Salazar, speaking about Play Me Kingston just before work began on their guitar sculptures. The installation opens in mid-August and will feature 11 sculptures displayed throughout downtown Kingston until November, inviting residents and visitors alike to explore the city's musical history through public art. The project also serves as a tribute to the 10th anniversary of the Tragically Hip's final concert and the inaugural Road Trip Music Festival. Before we wrap up this evening, I'm going to run through your weekend forecast, a roundup of just some of the events Kingston has to offer to finish off your week. Tonight, you can check out Make It Happen Indigenous Beadwork at the KFPL Central Branch from 6 to 7:30 p.m., or catch a screening of The Wedding Singer at Springer Market Square at 7 p.m. Also at 7, there's music trivia at Something in the Water, trivia at Riverhead, and trivia at Spearhead. At 8 p.m., there's a burlesque show at Daft Brewing, followed by karaoke at Jersey's at 8:30, karaoke at the Buckle at 9, and the weekly urban music social at La Vida Bistro at 9:30. Friday starts with Spanish conversation sessions on Sydenham Street between Princess and Queen at 12:30 p.m. Then at 7 p.m., head to the City Hall Amphitheater for Kickin' It Country, featuring local country music. You can keep the night going with Friday night karaoke at the Buckle at 9, or karaoke night at Daft Brewing from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. Saturday is a busy one. The Gananoque Craft Market runs from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Gananoque Town Hall. Closer to downtown Kingston, the Princess Street Promenade takes over Princess Street from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., while the Montreal Street Vintage Market runs along Montreal Street from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. There's also the Mini Market Series on Sydenham Street between Princess and Queen starting at 10 a.m. At 11 a.m., check out chef demos with Aquaterra at the City Hall Amphitheater. At 12:30 p.m., Saturday Sessions brings live music to Confederation Park. And at 1:30 p.m., Emancipation Day celebrations take place at Confederation Park. The Kingston Public Market is also on at Springer Market Square from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Then Saturday evening, it's line dancing at the Buckle at 7 p.m. On Sunday, start your morning at the Memorial Center Farmers Market running from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Kingston Memorial Center, or head to yoga in Battery Park for 10 a.m. And if you don't want the weekend to end too soon, there's karaoke at both the Merchant and the Toucan at 9 p.m. That wraps up your weekend forecast. Once again, that's just some of the events Kingston has to offer this weekend. Be sure to head to CFRC.ca for our full events and concerts listings, curated by CFRC's Community News and Arts Coordinator, Jenny Hinch. If you have an event or concert you'd like to add to our online or on-air calendar, reach out today via CFRC.ca or at CFRC Music on Instagram using the link tree in our bio. That is all things current in arts and culture in Kingston for this week. Thank you for listening to CFRC's local news programming, brought to you by the generous support of the Community Radio Fund of Canada under the Local Journalism Initiative, Queen's University Career Services, and for our podcast, Smith Engineering at Queen's University. To revisit episodes, hear more from our guests today, and listen on the go, head to our podcast network at podcast.cfrc.ca. Be sure to stay tuned for more CFRC programming coming up next.
Thank you for listening to this podcast produced at CFRC 101.9 FM at Queen's University, situated on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee peoples, and brought to you by the generous support of the Faculty of Engineering and Applied Science.